Hello, hello, and welcome to my Lunch and Learn, where each and every week we explore topics to help you elevate your mindset, be at your best, and radically expand your life. And today we are talking about something that often gets overlooked: evening routines. Now, evening routines are a key foundation to your success, and that is why they are so important. The thing is, how you start your day today is going to be determined based on how you end your previous day. And I'm going to show you what evening routines look like, what they are, why they're really important, and how you can actually make them work for you. So if you are ready to jumpstart your day in a purposeful way, to be more productive, more effective, and energized from morning till night, that is what we are going to talk about today. So I'd love to know where you're coming in from. If you're tuning in by replay, type in replay in the chat. If it's your first time here, type in first time in the chat. Let me know where you're coming in from. Please engage. And I want to thank you for being here. I really, truly do appreciate your presence. Now, some of you know me, some of you don't. I'm Larissa McCook, Canada's leading abundance mentor, and we work with professional women that have an interest in personal growth and development and are looking for more out of life because they are finally ready to have a life and business they want and love. Now, I have always been a morning person. I like getting up early. I feel like if I sleep in too late, I miss half my days. And I know the few number of days where I've slept past a certain point in time, I feel like I've literally missed half my day. And there was a time where my son, he sometimes likes to sleep in, he sometimes likes to get up. But I remember there was a day my son woke up extra early. And he looked at the clock around 10:30 in the morning, and we had gotten so much done. And what he was like, "Mama, it's only 10:30. It feels like middle of the afternoon. We've got so much stuff that we've done today. Wow, this is so incredible." And in that moment, he really realized that getting up early gave him so much more time, so much more freedom, and so much more possibility to do all the things that a 7-year-old wants to do. Now, I had to help him make the link that the reason you got up early is because we went to bed at a really good time and you got enough sleep. And so today, we're really going to explore how you can craft an evening routine to support your successful morning and ultimately your most successful life. Now, an evening routine, it refers to a set of intentional habits or actions that you perform before bed to prepare your mind, your body, and your environment for a restful sleep and essentially a successful next day. So your mind, your body, and your environment. And it's part of a holistic self-care practice. It's really designed to help you wind down from the day, reduce stress, improve quality of sleep, and set you up for success in the morning. Because the first things you think about in the morning with your amazing morning routine set the tone for the day, but the last things you think about before bed set the tone for everything you think about, everything you dream about, and everything your mind and brain processes while you're sleeping. And so an evening routine really focuses on intentionality to ensure you're going to bed in a calm and relaxed state so that you can tackle the next day ahead. Now let's look at the science. This is research tells us, okay? So research shows that your body has an internal clock or circadian rhythm. And this is influenced by your behaviors in the hours leading up to sleep. Okay, so it's really about what you're doing with yourself in the hours leading up to when you go to bed. So, what does this mean? Well, if you don't set yourself up for this restful sleep, you're going to struggle to wake up energized. You're going to struggle to be focused. You're not going to conquer your day. And studies show that sleep quality is directly linked to cognitive function. It's directly linked to mood regulation. It is directly linked to productivity in the following day. And in fact, poor sleep and irregular sleep patterns are tied to decreased memory, slower decision making, and even higher levels of stress. So it's not just about the amount of sleep you get. Okay, so for most people, they need somewhere between 7 and 9 hours. But it's really about preparing your mind, body, and environment for a deep and restful sleep. So you can actually get good quality of sleep and wake up ready to perform at your best the next day. So let's look at setting down your space or setting up your space for success. Okay, we talked about the power of environment. And when you have an environment that invites restful relaxation, you're literally telling your entire unconscious realm that you are getting ready for bed. And this is so important because even small changes can make a huge difference. So there's three things, all right, I want to really touch on. Okay, so in terms of your physical space, lighting. Okay, exposure to blue light, like your phone or your computer, right before bed can mess with melatonin production, making it a lot harder to fall asleep. So you might want to even, there are, where I have these fancy, where did I put them? Have these fancy blue blocker glasses. So if you do have to absolutely be on a device later at night or even in general, we often wear these blue blocker glasses so that you don't have as many effects from the devices that you're on. So if you absolutely have to be on a device, use blue blocker glasses. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them pretty much anywhere. There's different styles, but those can be really helpful. And if you can avoid devices altogether, amazing. When it comes to the lighting in your house, do things like dim the lights an hour before bed. So we have light switches. My husband put dimmer switches on all of our lights. And he made sure to also, we don't have any fluorescent lighting. We have incandescent light bulbs. And so he made sure to have warm lighting, okay, lamps, night lights, to cue your body that it's time to wind down. So we dim the lights, we get in the mood. You can even light candles and just take out the lights altogether. And so it's so important that you give your body little signals that it's time for bed. Just like when the light naturally goes down outside, this is what you want to do inside your house. Okay, so follow nature. Light goes down outside, light goes down inside as you're prepping for bed. The next thing is temperature. Okay, so studies have shown that your body temperature naturally drops as you fall asleep. And so this is part of the sleep process. So if you keep your bedroom around 15 to 20 degrees Celsius or 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit, that helps to support the natural cooling process. So it's really important that you don't necessarily overheat your body because it will start to drop that body temperature. Decluttering. Okay, so also when you look at clutter, okay, what you surround yourself, that's what your mind is going to follow. And you want to make sure that your environment is literally set up to do what you want. In your bedroom, make sure your clothes are put away. Make sure everything you see is neat and tidy. Even in your home, the more you can clean things up, tidy things up, you will go to bed looking at a restful and peaceful and welcoming environment that is designed to reduce stress and improve your ability to relax. If you're always looking at stuff and clutter, it is not going to serve you. Okay, so set your physical environment up for success and really clear as much stuff as you can and close those open loops before you go to bed. Now, in terms of activities, we want to look at wind down activities. So there's the environment, but what are you actually doing for the maybe 60 to 90 minutes before bed? Because this is where the magic happens. And there's some habits that you can incorporate to help you unwind and prepare your mind and body for a really restful sleep. So first, screen time and technology. As mentioned earlier, blue light from screens, it can affect your melatonin levels. So turn off your devices at least 30 minutes, but preferably 60 minutes or more before bed. And again, use the blue blocker glasses if you absolutely can't avoid it. Why does this matter? Well, melatonin is your body's natural sleep hormone, and it helps you fall asleep. But exposure to this artificial light, it interferes with its production, and it leaves you tossing and turning and doing cartwheels in bed, counting sheep and not being able to fall asleep. So the less screen time you have, the more melatonin and the better you sleep. Now, another thing, movement. light activity, not like going to the gym for a massive workout, but light activity, like a walk after dinner, can be a game changer. A 10 to 20-minute walk can transition. It can transition that daytime energy into nighttime rest. If you're feeling stiff, or if you could do some gentle stretching or yoga like movements. Okay, so gentle movement to just release tension and calm the nervous system. Even doing a gentle breathing routine, something where you're breathing slowly and calmly, but something to get you moving, but in a calm and restful way. A mindfulness practice can be really, really helpful. So before you hit the pillow, take a few minutes to clear your mind. So journal, maybe a brief meditation session. I love, love, love doing gratitude at the end of my day. So while I like gratitude in the morning, I think it's great. I love doing gratitude right before bed because I think back on everything that happened that day and I can relive it for a moment. I could say, thank you for all of the blessings, all of the learnings, all of the everything from that day. And it feels really good because my mind can process that as I go to sleep. You could set your intentions for the next day. Another thing I love to do is really think through, okay, what are my meetings? What's my next day going to look like? And are there any things I might need to decide or do early in the morning so I can hit the ground running? So I make sure that any steps that I need to think through, especially earlier in the day, all of those little things are thought through so you can just get going and not spend extra time fumbling around. Okay, so really priming yourself, closing projects out so you don't have a million things to think about. The next thing is eating. Okay, if you are having a late night snack, opt for foods that support melatonin production, like cherries, almond, or even turkey. Okay, but avoid heavy or spicy meals, especially right before bed, because they can disrupt your digestive system and affect your sleep quality. In an ideal world, you would not be eating at least several hours before bed. So if you have to, try to eat the certain types of food that will support a good sleep. But if you can absolutely avoid it, don't eat before bed. Okay. Your body does not need to be digesting food as you're going and prepping for bed. And even think of having a wind down ritual. So we did a lot of parents when they have young children, they create a nighttime routine that involves like a bath, read a book, get your pajamas on, then go to bed. Whatever that sequence of events is, if you can think of just like a little kid, they might have a sequence of events before bed. What could be my wind down ritual? Okay, so mine includes a lot of the things that I've talked about. I like to dim the lights. I do my dishes. Okay, so part of me is like, do my dishes, make sure that kitchen is tidy, make sure my list is made for the next day, make sure my desk is ready to go, make sure if there's any projects or things I need to consider for the next day, I either pack things and put them by the door, or I put a sticky note together of anything I need to get together and gather in the morning. And then my son loves to read. I love to read. I love to do a little gratitude. Sometimes we talk about good parts of our day and then we go to bed. So these rituals, they help trigger relaxation to make sleep a seamless transition. Maybe that might even include something like a cup of tea. But whatever that is for you, the more you can keep it consistent, the more natural it's going to feel, the more it's going to trigger your brain. So you want to have this evening routine, this wind down ritual fairly consistent on a regular basis so that you know, and your brain goes, okay, time to wind down and you're going to go to bed soon. Now, you've got to build consistency for long-term results because consistency really is key. It is not about making a perfect one-time change. It's not that you have to do everything ideally tonight, and realize that it's about building habits that compound over time. The more you can stick to your evening routine, the more natural it's going to feel and the more easy it's going to be for you to wake up refreshed, focused, and ready to take on the world. But what you want to do is choose 1 to 2 habits or choose 1 or 2 steps to start implementing this week. Maybe it's turning your phone off and putting it on airplane mode 30 minutes or an hour before bed. Maybe going for a calming walk after dinner. Small actions can lead to big transformations, and you want to have that consistency. The other thing we didn't talk about is having a bedtime, right? Decide when you're going to bed. Ideally, 10 o'clock, everything shuts down, and by 11, you're asleep. 10 o'clock in bed. That's when the melatonin starts to kick in an ideal world. If that's not possible, do your best to have a consistent sleep time so you can have a consistent wake up time and your body can get used to that rhythm. And when you keep this sacred, magical things will absolutely start to happen. But you've got to make that commitment to yourself. So if it's possible, be in bed by 10. If that's not possible, then adjust, but keep it consistent. The biggest thing is to make it simple and make it work for you. So I've given you some really great and simple suggestions, but the thing is, you've got to make this work for you. Your evening routine has power to change everything about how you show up the next day, but it is not about making just these small tweaks. It's about having a strategy that works for you. It's got to be customized because my routine is not necessarily what's going to work for you. You've got to consider your entire life. And so what I want to do is I want to invite and I want to offer an opportunity for you to have an evening audit, okay? An evening routine audit. And we're going to take a look. This is a one-on-one conversation that we'll have. We'll meet for about 15 to 30 minutes where you'll tell me about what is it that you are currently doing, what's working, what's not, what would you like to see in your evening and in your next day. And then we will craft something that makes sense for you. So if that's of interest to you, I want you to write, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? Routine. Type in routine in the chat so I don't forget. Type in routine in the chat. So if that's of interest to you, go ahead, type in evening routine in the chat, and then we will reach out. My team and I will reach out. We'll tell you how you can book a call so we can dissect and evaluate your evening routine. But I would love, love, love to help serve you. I really wish you all the best with your evening routine planning, because when you start taking charge of your night and your evening, you are going to have an amazing, amazing next day. Your morning routine is only going to work if you feel good enough to do it. If you are in spirit, inspired, and rested enough to wake up and show up. But success starts now. Your yesterday was what determined your success today. Your success today, your actions today are going to determine your success tomorrow. So today is the day to step up. I encourage you to take a chance and make one or two key decisions of something that you are going to change. I'd love to know what they are in the chat. So share them in the chat with me. My team and I would love to celebrate with you. And if you would love to have a one-on-one, absolutely free coaching call to look at and audit and evaluate your evening routine so it can set you up for success, then mention evening routine in the chat. Have yourselves a beautiful day. We will be back again next week with another insightful topic. If you have any topics that you'd love for us to do these Lunch and Learn episodes on, let us know. Reach out to me, reach out to my team, either in the chat or by direct message on any of our social media platforms. And we are collecting content ideas for the rest of the summer and into the fall. And we want to serve you. We are listening to you. And we are here to bring you exactly what it is that you need. So let us know any content ideas. If you do want that call audit, then mention evening routine in the chat. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. Have yourself a beautiful day. Bye for now.